There you go. That's thought-provoking stuff. Will you please welcome the man trying to do something about that, Mr. Jamie Oliver.
Oliver's Army is here to stay. Oliver's Army are on their way. And I would rather be anywhere else than here today.
How you doing, Jamie? Great to see you.
Hello.
Well, we mentioned it early on. Let me start. Congratulations on the baby news. What a lovely thing.
Thank you.
This will be your third child.
Third Bambino.
So you have, is it Poppy Honey?
Yeah.
And
Daisy Boo.
Daisy Boo. I love the name Daisy Boo.
Yes, my wife, she likes that.
Okay, so you don't like the name?
What, you think I've got an opinion?
So you don't know whether it's going to be a boy or girl, the next one yet?
No, well, when Rhododendron comes out, actually, I don't know what sex it is yet, because a lot of people say that I keep talking about having a boy. Obviously, I've got, you know, my wife, Poppy, Daisy, the mother-in-law. There's a lot of girls in the house.
It's a very feminine household.
Yeah. And, you know, if I had a choice, then it would be a boy.
You'd quite like a boy, why not?
But I want to just make it clear that I'm happy whatever the big man gives me as long as it's healthy.
As long as you've got a lovely little baby, that'd be
You know, you've got 3 kids.
I have
Your
3
last one was a boy.
No, my middle one's a boy.
How did you achieve that? Because I've tried quite a few things to try and make... Because, you know what I did? Because I found out from a specialist that it was about temperature of the balls.
It's all to do with testicular heat.
So what I did was I bought an adult nappy, soaked it in water, froze it, cut a hole for the cock, and... love. I think chefs have girls, though, because of the heat.
The heat, it's very hot in the kitchen, and therefore it does heat things up downstairs.
Yes, it does.
So maybe you should wear the big nappy in the kitchen.
I tried it, so let's see.
For sure.
I actually didn't plan on having this conversation.
Nor did I. But it brings us neatly to your next TV show.
Good bridge.
OK, never mind that. All right, OK. Now, last time you were on the show...
Yes.
Which was about 2 years ago?
Yep.
Was it? OK. The series School Dinners was about to start. It was just on TV, and that was a big campaign that you helped kick off, and it was something I know very dearly. How did that turn out in the end? What sort of impact did that have? What success was it? And do you monitor it now? Are you involved still?
Yeah, no, I mean, I always promised that I'd see it through to the end. It's going to be about 9 years until we got a service that we're really proud of across the board. It's on track, but there's lots of problems. I think it achieved a lot, as in got people talking, got awareness. I think there's a string of new government policies and new money, half a billion pounds that we got
Wow, that's
access.
a lot of money going.
It's a lot of money, but when you divide it between, 6 years and all the children at school, it works out at pennies.
Of course, yeah.
So, but I think we're on... It's a big old ship to turn around, so... Just keep plugging away.
And so it's kind of going in the right direction. Where does the government stand this? Are they helping you as much as you need?
I kind of felt as if I did before 1 hours. A year later, I did a 1 hour and got another...
We should expect 4 1-hour shows, you mean, and then you did another programme?
We did the initial documentary, no money. 3 days later, £288 million. Wow. A year later, we came back with What's Happened. We got a promise of another 3 years, another £280 million. And then I kind of thought, you know what, I've done really well, I should shut up now, because people get sick of it, even the ones that's supporting me.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, I'll be quiet now for 3 or 4 years, see what happens. And then I'll come back in a year and a half, and do another hour.
And is it when you're not doing it, when the pressure isn't on, what happens? It just gets forgotten, or it gets pushed to the side, or people... Because you'd have thought once they woke up to the idea, they'd say, OK, we've got to keep supporting this. It's something, obviously, it's hard to see why anyone would disagree with this.
I think at the end of the day, we've got a government now that are talking about it a lot. And that's great, and to have that is a massive achievement. What we need to do, the devil in this is in the detail. So money, great. Policy, great. I want to know who's running it. Are they good? Are they strategic? Are they getting the money into the kitchens, equipment, and training the girls so they can, really do a great job?
You must have been approached to join a party. You must have been approached to either put your weight behind an individual party
I've been asked to join certain quangos of the government, and I just think that, my job really is to stay outside. I mean, ever since I did School Dinners, I thought, well, I stay out of politics, never say if I'm left.
But you're not staying out of politics, because this is kind of... it's politics
being conservative, Labour,
yeah.
I thought, I was just going to stay out of it and be a constructive pain in the arse. Yeah. I tell you what, if there's one important thing in this country, it's our schools and our children. And if you want to fix lots of issues, school is where the heart of this country is. So I'm a real believer in that. And I think, if you've got... by 2050, all the intelligent people in the world that do all these statistics say that 9 out of 10 people will be obese by 2050.
Because are we the most... Is it true we have the highest percentage of obese people in Europe now in this country?
Yes, our third most obese country in the world, behind South America and America.
Is it wrong for me to say I'm a bit proud about that, though? Is that... I mean, I know it's bad, but just nice to be in the top 5.
It's not really the World Cup football, is it?
No, but I don't care for football, but eating I love, and so I can see that we've achieved something.
Yeah.
But it's bad for the health system. That's going to groan and buckle
mate,
under the weight of all
and
these.
I've learned a lot about that this year, and it's crumbling. It's crumbling, and we ain't helping it.
What's crumbling? You mean the health system's crumbling?
Yeah, of course it is. It's got years. It's got years. It's an another precious thing.
So what we're saying here,
and when
then,
it's gone, we'll be so sad.
And you're saying partly what you're worried about, I guess, is that with the growing rate of obesity, that's going to put
We're
a greater
breaking
strain on this system.
No,
anyway.
we are breaking it. 68% of people in hospital are there for some sort of diet-connected reason.
Let's see the health system as a bed. Too many fat people are sitting on that bed. It's beginning to crack. Too many more fat people get on it. This is what you're saying. I'm paraphrasing. Those fatties are going to bust that bed. So basically, make the doors smaller at the hospital. A good first step.
That's a good analogy, yeah. But it's not just about fat people, it's about health as well.
Yeah.
It's not just about large people, it's about people that are just very unhealthy.
All right, Jamie has a new television series on, and it's a problem-solving thing as well, but it's also a kind of human thing. There's a book that goes with it. It relates to... It's not old-style cooking as such, but it's basic cooking, I guess. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, the programme is a snapshot of Britain today. The book is really... after 10 years, I felt as if I've been sort of preaching to the converted, really.
So people who were watching your show were people who already loved food, were already going to make fresh food, they learned what they could from you, and you really didn't have that much
I didn't
more
think
to...
I was getting to the people that... The thing is...
Who needed it.
What people say is, like, there's so many programmes, so many magazines, cooking shows... how can this not be... The thing is, if you're not turned on or hooked into food, you'll never see any of that. You'll flick through it. It's not part of your life.
Yeah.
So the reason I did the programme is because I wanted to understand those people. And obviously in the book, I wanted to sort of make the book a bit like an Airfix model. So have step-by-step pictures for every...
Really basic stuff.
Yeah,
so it's
a
basically
picture for
like
every
if you haven't cooked
critical
before,
part.
you could pick this up and you could cook a nice, tasty, healthy meal for your family.
There's a whole mixture of meals. You know, whether it's... I mean, desserts are pretty hard to be healthy, really. But, I mean, you know, there's a home cooking. I've tried to be street culture about it. So, you know, whether it's stir-fries, curries, you know, stews, the Sunday roast. I mean... When we did the Ministry of Food, and that's the name of the show, Ministry of Food was a department of the government in the Second World War, set up, and 2,500 women mobilised around the country and went into factories, the workplace, the high street. And the reason that I was inspired by this is because the last time our government did something radical about health was the Ministry of Food. And the only shame was we had to be in a bloody war to do something radical.
So why go to Rotherham for this? Because you could have gone just about anywhere in the UK, I guess. You'd find the same kind of snapshot.
Well, I could have gone anywhere. I think at the start, people at Rotherham, it was kind of a bit of a fluke. There was a woman that haunted me for about 3 years called Julie Critchlow, who was the woman...
we have this picture. This is a famous picture. That was after you started trying to promote healthy eating in schools, and some mums in that part of the country revolted and said, no, we don't want that, and they were taking burgers in and giving their kids money to buy McDonald's. Is that right? And stuff like that?
Yeah, well, that's certainly the way I saw it.
And what did you say? You fell out with this lady. You'd never met her. You called her something and she got angry
Yeah,
about
no, I was out of order. I was on Top Gear and I called her a big old scrubber.
Well, you know, in some parts of the world, that's quite a nice compliment, I think.
Yeah, well, she did properly want to beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, and for the lot of things, my money would be on her, I think, because she's got a good right arm, and look at that. Like Popeye.
So she was sort of my nemesis, really, and I thought, you know what, I've got to be brave, and I'm going to try and find her. So we tried to track her down for a few months, and then finally she agreed. I was absolutely shit myself, because I did think she was going to batter me with...
She'd have battered you and served you to her kids, probably.
But we kind of... I just wanted to ask her why, and then I realised that she had a slightly different story, and the media brought us together. And actually, she got a lot of victimisation locally.
All right, well, that's a terrible thing.
But we are friends now, and she does cook. She cooks from scratch. And it's interesting because the Ministry of Food is a shop in Rotherham and that does free cooking demonstrations.
Set this up?
I set up the Ministry of Food in
So these
Rotherham.
are people who really... Because I find it hard to understand that there are people in this company who don't cook at all. You would have thought mums out there would find that... I mean, that's what they should be doing, and dads.
It's... Well, I've spent this year, because I hate talking about stuff when I haven't got... And also, I'm a real believer in grassroots. When I did school dinners, I was a dinner lady under Nora before I even started any ideas.
So you went back and learned what they were going
through. I started a class of 8, right? And I attacked it in 2 ways. I set up a Ministry of Food, which was my idea of how the government, and they have money hived down to the local councils to do this, set up a shop where you have free demonstrations and the public can come in, you know, come and learn how to poach an egg in 3 minutes, in and out. And I was trying to prove the case that this works. And I give them little nuggets of information. And before my eyes, truly, in days and weeks, the whole family, socially, would just blossom.
And they would come together because they're helping out.
Consistently.
But why are they not learning this from school or from the government? I mean, or from their own parents?
Look, at the end of the day, whatever government was in charge, the way I look at it, as an Essex boy, is for the last 40 years, our girls have gone to work and they've been taxed. And from that day, they've taken their tax and they put nothing back, right? If you tax our girls, you put something back, because that's where the heart of the home was. And if you're going to do that, then you teach them to cook at school, so when they leave at 16, they can rattle out cheap meals in uni, and, you know...
It is quite exciting when you first learn to cook a couple of things. It's really quite an exciting thing.
It's like a bulb.
What was the first thing you learned to cook?
An omelette.
It's not a very interesting answer.
No. But I was about 6, bruv.
Yeah, that's pretty good. OK, you would have thought that America would have more obese people, because you go over there, you see so many big people over there.
It's the worst.
Big whoppers. They're the worst in the world, aren't they?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. The one moment that sticks in my head, which was about 3 years ago, I went to New York. I went with my mentor, Gennaro, who taught me a lot in the early days. And I took him to a nice hotel and I sat him down in the bedroom, right? And I put on the TV, this is Food Network, this is the channel I'm on. And there's this guy going, OK, we got roast chicken. Everyone likes roast chicken. Yay! Woo! Yeah, we got roast chicken. And you know, stuffing, we got stuffing. We got herbs, we got the pork, we got the breadcrumbs. Yeah, can you feel it? OK, we don't want to make stuffing. I got a Big Mac and I'm going to put that inside the chicken. We're going to roast that. Easy, stuffing, roast chicken. Woo!
Well, number one for the performance, I think. Have you got a pen?
I ain't got a pen, did you?
I want to write that recipe down. So it was a chicken, because that sounds great. I love the sound of that. I would eat a chicken with a Big Mac inside it. Did you try it?
No, I didn't.
Why not? It would be great food.
It just felt wrong.
Jamie, you're a lovely bloke. Isn't Jamie a nice bloke? When I meet a nice bloke, I think, it'd be nice to have you round. But I would be a bit scared of having you round for dinner in case I'm cooking you something.
Yeah, that's the problem, though.
Are people wary of that?
I've had 5 people cook for me in 12 years.
Is that all? And not good food, or they cook pretty well, or you don't want to judge?
There's been a couple of good ones, but I'm not fussy. I like the gesture.
OK, so it's a nice thing. And if you go in, do you offer to help, or can you... I mean, because if you see him doing something wrong, I'm sure you would want to leap in.
Actually, the boys in the back room, I had dinner with... hello, boys.
Hello there.
Hello. We had dinner around Richard and Judy, didn't we?
Yeah.
Hold it. What kind of a nightmarish evening is this?
No, we had a nice day, wasn't it? And
So you went round for dinner with Richard and Judy. Was anyone else there? Was anyone...
Jules and the kids.
Jules and the kids? Anyone there? Dale Winton?
No.
No, OK. Andy
But
Robinson?
David's umbrella caught fire, didn't it?
Well, that was Poppy set fire to it, didn't she? My little girl nearly set fire to their house.
Nearly's not good enough.
I said, can you try harder next time?
And what did they cook? Who cooked? Did Richard or Judy cook?
Roast beef with all the trimmings. And I went in about
Sounds
half an hour after I'd been there, and I just said, hi, Richard, do you want a hand?
Now, he must have said...
And he said, fuck off, you
He's very fruity with the language.
Because I love a bit of Richard and Judy, as we all do. But, my God, I thought I had a foul mouth. He did say...
Did any swinging take place afterwards?
No, we just put our keys in.
OK. Right, I'm looking forward to seeing the show because it's an exciting idea. And you know what I love about it is it's clearly something... I know it's a great topic for a show, but I know you're not doing it for that reason. You're doing it because you want to change
I can think of other things to do. This is important. If I may just say a little bit about the programme. The heart of the programme, which is quite interesting, after I learned about what was going on, I created this thing, not a campaign, it's a movement. And it's called Pass It On, right? And it's about saying, I was thinking about myself, have I got 4 mates that can't cook?
Yeah, have you?
Yeah, I've got loads, right? So I'm going to go and I'm going to teach them. So I started my class of 8, right? And I showed them a recipe. And then the deal was they have to teach 2 of their mates that can't cook.
So you say, I'll teach you if you go and teach 2 of your friends.
Think of pyramid selling, right? Because basically, this is the coup, guys. And, you know, people might say, oh, bugger off, this, that and the other. The programme will make very clear where England's going health-wise, OK? And we can choose to watch the government do it, right? And I think the programme, for me, and this is what I discovered, is about the public standing up and being counted. And what I've proved is that if the public teach a recipe to 2 of their mates and get them to do the same and to do the same. I've proved in Rotherham, right, that people can have chains hundreds deep. One person can truly make a massive difference.
OK, I tell you what I can do. I'm going to teach someone to cook something. I don't have more than one friend, really. So I will... I don't have a lot of friends, but I don't really like friends. They're getting in the way.
Well, Ricky, you got Ricky Gervais.
I don't think he needs to be encouraged to eat anything more. I could teach Simon to cook. Simon, come on, I'll teach you to sear a salmon.
OK.
But you've got to promise to teach 2 of your mates that can't cook it once you've mastered it.
You got it, Jamie.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you know... You must wash your hands before handling the meat. You know that, don't you? OK. We want to spread the urge to cook. We want to teach people how to cook.
For me, the programme's about, come on, England, don't watch it, do a little bit, make a difference.
Don't watch it, do it. It sounds great. And as ever, you're not only pleasant company, you're an inspiration as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jamie Oliver. That was our best one yet. I think it was great fun. Thank you so much. Jamie Oliver.